In this video, we're going to once again look at formulas. The file that we're going to be using is called formulas. Now we're going to go to the sheet initially called formulas answers. Click on it to open it. And what we're going to see in all cases that in column F we have the answers. There will be 6 problems. I'm sorry, 7. So the answer will always be in column F in the sheet called formulas answers. So let's begin. We're going to click on the sheet called formulas. Open that up. And we're going to go into cell F10 to create our first formula. Now what we're looking for here for question 1 is use the info in row 10 to determine how much you would pay for the books. And basically what we have is a quantity of 24 Harry Potter books, and they cost $6.95 a piece. If you just had a calculator, what you would do would be 24 multiplied by the quantity $6.95. If you're in Excel, as we know, we always begin a formula with the equal sign. We click on this 24, which happens to be in cell A10, multiplied by the asterisk. Click on 695, which happens to be in D10. Hit the check mark. The amount should be $166.80. Next, let's go into cell F14, and they want us to find the average of these numbers. So we're going to click in cell F14, Home tab, Auto Sum, Average. Excel is taking a guess that we want to average the numbers starting at A14. Colon means a range all the way up to E14. That's correct. Hit the check mark. Next, we're going to go into cell F18. And in this case, we want to sum these 4 numbers. Go up here, Auto Sum. Excel is guessing a range from F14 to F17. That is not what we're trying to sum. So you always have to double check. So we're going to go back with our mouse and retrace. Hold down the left mouse, starting from A18 all the way to D18. Hit our check mark. Next, we're going to come into cell F22, and we're going to determine the sales price based on a multiplier. The multiplier is 1.385. Another word for a multiplier is a constant or an absolute. In all cases, what they're asking for here is they want us to take 1325 multiplied by 1.385, 1485 multiplied by 1.385, 5498 multiplied by 1.385, and 458.36 multiplied by 1.385. But the constant or the absolute is always just 1.385. The way to do that is to go into cell F22. It is a formula, equal. Click on the 13.125, which happens to be in cell B22, multiplied by the 1.385, which happens to be in E22. But once again, we're clicking, just using our mouse, clicking on these cells. Now to make that E22, that 1.385, a constant, what you do is go up to the function key F4. Once again, it's the function key F4. By tapping it once, what we end up with is now a dollar sign before the E and a dollar sign before the 22. What that formula is really translated out to is still B22 multiplied always by. That's what that dollar sign E, dollar sign 22 means. It's turned this number or cell reference into a constant or an absolute. Hit the checkbox. And now it's kind of hard to see. Go to your fill handle and drag that pattern all the way down. Just for the heck of it, we'll check this formula here by quickly double left clicking it. And what we can see is that we have B25, this number here, multiplied by 1.385, which is the value that's in E22. Hit your escape key to get out of it. And let's go down to our next formula. So we want to have our cell in F30. Okay, for this next formula, we want to make sure that we're in F30. And what we're trying to do here is determine the profit based upon a sales price of $15 and a cost of goods sold that's equal to $10, and then of course a quantity of 12. Now the whole key here is this is a two-step process. In order to determine profit, what you need to do first off is to take your sales price of 15 minus the cost of goods sold, which is 10. So that 15 minus 10 is a quantity of 5, and you take that 5 and multiply that by the quantity of goods. So 5 times 12, it should be 60. But once again, it's a two-step process. Okay? We need to take the sales price minus the cost of goods sold and then multiply that by the quantity. So it is a formula. We want to begin off with an equal sign. And because it's a two-step process, okay, what you want to do first off is to begin by opening up a parenthesis. Open parenthesis. Click on the 15. Minus sign. Click on the 10. Close parenthesis. Multiplied by the 12, which happens to be an A30. Now what the parentheses do, once again, it makes it much easier to deal with the order of operations. Okay, parentheses always set off, they're the first operation that's done, whatever is within the parentheses. So what we're doing first off is taking our sales price, this 15, minus the B30, the 10, so that's being done first, multiplied by your quantity. And the answer is 60. Now the whole key to this problem, once again, is that it's a two-step process. What we did first off is that information that's within the parentheses, which was basically the sales less cost of goods sold, then we multiplied by the quantity. If we didn't have parentheses here, we would get the wrong answer because of that order of operations. Next, let's go down to cell F35. What they're looking for here is the number of units purchased. It is a formula, equal sign. We're going to take our 560.50 divided by what the sales price is, hit enter, and it would be 38 units. Next, let's go into cell F41, and we're going to use just one formula to determine how much we would have to pay for both items. This final problem, once again, it's a two-step process. What we have to do first off is determine the amount brought in by the cheeseburgers, which is 22 multiplied by 195, plus the quantity of hot dogs, which is 15 times 1.25. No matter what, it's a formula. It begins with an equal sign. We're going to open up our parentheses and determine the cheeseburgers first. Click on the 22, multiplied by 195, close parentheses. So any open parenthesis always has to be followed by a closing. Plus, open parenthesis, the 15 hot dogs, multiplied by 1.25, close parenthesis. Hit the check marks, and that is our amount. In summary here, the key thing to keep in mind is that all formulas always begin with an equal sign. You should always check your formulas by quickly double left clicking within the formula area so you can graphically see how that formula is constructed. And then next, whenever you're dealing with more than one step in your formula, you should get into the habit of using parentheses. So if it's more than one step, get into the habit of using parentheses. Because if you don't, what you might do, taking this formula right here, doing it the incorrect way would be an equal sign. Some people might say click on the 15 minus 10 and then multiply by the 12. Seems to make sense, but we get a different answer. And the reason being is that we're dealing here with the order of operations. Okay? The multiplication is always done first, and then you would have any addition or subtraction. So once again, get into the habit. If you're dealing with a formula that has more than one step, use parentheses to define what steps should be done first. Thank you.